All right, so we are exploring multiplying fractions of fractions, okay? And so this video could really help you with your homework. Tomorrow we will go over the more formal way to multiply fractions, but this is a good way to kind of explore what's really happening. So my first one that I'm going to do is a half of 1/4, and we know I can replace that of with a multiplication symbol. So really I'm doing a half times 1/4. And so if I'm trying to find what a half of 1/4 is, I'm going to start with 1/4, okay? And I'm going to split this rectangle to show 1/4. So I'm going to split it into 4 equal parts, and I don't have any nice drawing tools with lines to help me make this even, so I'm just going to do the best I can with what I'm using on the computer. Okay, so and I'm gonna lightly shade in 1/4. Okay, so I'm gonna show that like that. Okay, so I can see that I have one part out of 4 equal parts here, and I want to find what a half of that 1/4 is. Okay, and if I'm thinking about that idea about multiplying whole numbers by a fraction less than 1 and how I got less than what I started with, well here I'm starting with 1/4 and I'm trying to find half of it. So again, I should get less than what I started with because I'm finding a fraction of a fraction, okay? So I'm multiplying two numbers less than one whole, so I should get less than what I began with. So to find half of 1/4, I need to split this 1/4 into half. So I'm just going to take that and split it right in half here. And then I'm going to extend this line using a dashed line just to help me come up with equal parts. Okay, so now I have this 1/4 split into 2 equal parts, and I need to find half of it. So I'm just going to shade in double shade over 1/2 of that portion. And to find 1/2 of 1/4, I'll look at how many parts I have double shaded. I have one part double shaded out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal parts. So a half of 1/4 would be 1/8. Okay, so I have 1/3 of 2/3. So here, okay, again, I can replace that of with a multiplication symbol. So really I'm doing 1/3 times 2/3. So again, I'm going to start with 2/3. I want to find out what 1/3 of that 2/3 is. So I'm going to break this into thirds, okay? And if you're doing your homework, I encourage you to use a straight edge so you don't get these wiggly lines like I have, okay? And now I'm going to shade in 2/3 because that's what I have to start with. And now I need to look at, I'm finding 1/3 of that 2/3. So I need to take what I shaded, okay, in red here, and I need to split that into 3 equal parts. Split that into thirds again, because I need to find what 1/3 of that is. And then I'm going to just, again, use these dashed lines over to the unshaded part to help me come up with my answer at the end, okay? So here, I need to find 1/3 of it. Here's my 3 equal parts. I divided it into here. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3 here. So if I need to find 1/3 of it, I'm going to double shade 1/3 of what I originally shaded here. So now to come up with my answer, I have 2 parts here double shaded. So 1/3 of 2/3 is 2. And then how many equal parts do I have total in this rectangle now? I have 3 here, 6, 9. So 1/3 of 2/3 is 2/9. Okay, let's just finish up these last two examples. Sorry about that. So 2/3 of 1/4. So again here, I have 1/4 to start. I could say really saying that's really saying 2/3 times 1/4. So I'm going to split this rectangle into 4 equal parts. And I'm going to show 1/4 of it. So I'm going to shade in 1/4 of this rectangle. And now I want to find 2/3 of this 1/4 shaded part here. So I'm going to take this shaded part and split it into 3 equal parts. So I got my 3 equal parts here. And I'm going to just double shade 2 of those parts. And then I'll extend my lines here to help me come up with the total amount of equal parts I really split this rectangle into. So 2/3 of 1/4 is, well, I can see I have 2 parts double shaded. So it's going to be 2 out of how many total equal parts in this whole now? Well, I got 4 here, 8 here, 12. So 2/3 times 1/4 would be 2/12. Okay, so now let me do 5/6 of 3/4, okay? So now I don't have any unit fractions here, so let me try this one. So 5/6 of 3/4 is really just saying 5/6 times 3/4. So 3/4, okay? That's what I have to start with, so I'm going to split this rectangle into fourths. I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to shade 3/4 of that. 1/4, 2/4, and 3/4. So 3/4 shaded here. And now I need to find 5/6 of that shaded portion. So I'm going to split my shaded portion into sixths. So I'm going to first split it into thirds. And then split each of those into half to get sixths. So I can see now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I split my 3/4 into six equal parts. And now I need to shade 5/6 of that. So there's 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, and 5/6. And I'm going to just extend these lines down to help me come up with the number of equal parts. So I could see that 5/6 times 3/4, well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 equal parts double shaded. So I have 15 parts double shaded out of, well, 6, 12, 18, 24 total equal parts. So 5/6 times 3/4 is 15 24. And some of you might have noticed the pattern between what's happening with your numerator and your denominators while we are doing this, and that's fine. And that will be my next video of, what is the traditional way, the formal way to multiply a fraction by a fraction without having to do the double shaded model. This is just showing you what's really going on, okay? If you noticed, I always got less than what I started with. So 15 24ths was a little bit less than 3/4. My 2/12 was less than the 1/4 I started with. My 2/9 was less than the 2/3 that I started with. My 1/8 was less than the 1/4 that I started with, okay? Because we're just trying to find a fraction of what we started with, just part of that fraction, okay? So again, I hope this video helped. I hope you can use this for your homework to help you as well.